Hi folks, so today I wanted to come on and talk about the perfect diet. It's that time of the year and I'm sure your social media feeds as well as mine being bombarded with all sorts of diet things and getting rid of the tummy and getting rid of the COVID pounds and things like that. And I mean, I run a weight loss program myself on Thursday nights. Nutrition for a happy and healthy weight loss. So I'm launching that. So I'm in there in that field. But I have been very conscious recently. A few people have contacted me, considering starting some drastic, some of the more drastic approaches, which there's a time and a place for sometimes in terms of a therapeutic diet. But I would urge anybody thinking about that to either give me a wee call, we can talk over the reality of it before you start, or just to give it a lot of thought. And so I thought I would say a few words about the perfect diet. And loads of people will say there is no perfect diet. And if you're joining me here now thinking that I'm just going to say, bang, here's the perfect diet, I apologise. There is no perfect diet. In all my years of studying and in working in the weight loss field, and I have over 10 years working successfully in the weight loss field, I would qualify that and say there is no one single perfect diet, but there is a perfect diet for you, depending on what your goals are, depending on your own individuality, just your whole genetic makeup, everything. Then there will be a perfect diet for you. The secret is to find it. Okay, and now when I say diet, I don't mean, like a specific plan and going on a diet and as such. What I mean what the word diet really means. And sometimes that word gets really bad press at the minute. But I mean the noun, the word diet, that means the kinds of foods that a person or an animal or a community habitually eats. Okay? I don't mean the verb to diet in order to restrict yourself, to small amounts of special kinds of food in order to lose weight. So you may change your diet in order to lose weight, but going on a diet is different. So if you can kind of understand the kind of different meanings there and the different connotations, because there are different stories that you tell yourself in your brain as well. Okay? So whenever you're thinking about a diet, a style of eating, if you're thinking about changing your habits, there are certain questions that you want to ask yourself to figure out whether or not this is the perfect diet for you. Okay? So, is this a style of eating that you can commit to long term? Is it very drastic? Is it realistic? Is there, and this is really important, right? Is there evidence around the protocols that are being presented in this diet? And have you fact checked that evidence? Because really there are a lot of things out there on the internet that can say this is evidence based and this is evidence based. It's actually quite easy to check the evidence there, and check who's talking. Are they qualified? There might be studies out there, or there might be good, strong anecdotal evidence. There's a lot of dietary protocols that are out there that are actually newish, as in they're maybe only 20 or 30 years old, so they haven't had a lot of scientific study. But if you can get anecdotal evidence from a trusted source, from either, a professional that you trust, or medical professional, or health professional, or a nutrition professional that you trust and that you have a reason for trusting, then that will give you some faith in that. So, does this diet fit with my lifestyle? Does it fit with my family? And there will be changes. Okay, so am I prepared to prioritize the changes that this diet, this style of eating is presenting? Is it causing me stress? So if you've started on a program of eating and is this causing me stress? Now, it may well cause you stress in the early days until you get used to it and you'll be thinking about, all the different things. But after 2 or 3 weeks, is this still causing me stress? Okay. Am I seeing results? So if you've changed for weight loss or for feeling better, for more energy, for skin, am I seeing results? And you do have to give it a bit of time, okay? But am I seeing results? Do I feel better or do I actually feel worse? Okay? And why am I doing this? This is always something that you're going to be thinking about as well, right? There are loads of reasons for changing your diet. You could be just looking to get healthier generally. You could be trying to build up your immune system. Yes, let's do that. You could be trying for a baby. You could be trying to prevent type 2 diabetes, and I have a few clients who have had scares with their doctor to say that they're pre-diabetic, and that is all preventable. You could be trying to manage diabetes. You could be trying to optimize your quality of life if you're living with a serious health condition. Better skin, better sleep. You could be managing a thyroid condition. You might just want to live longer. That's me. You want to minimize your risk of cancer. Of Alzheimer's. You want to balance hormones. All of those are all reasons for changing your diet, for finding the perfect diet for you to help you to actually achieve those goals. Okay? And I can help with that. Right? And in the middle of all that, right? Sometimes as well as, or sometimes it's the sole reason, you may want to lose weight. You may want to lose weight for health reasons, to look better, to be fitter, to live longer, all of those things. And, losing weight sometimes gets a wee bit of a bad press now as well, but it's it's very valid if you want to lose weight, if you feel that you need to lose weight, that that your life will be better if you lose weight, that you'll be healthier if you lose weight, then that's very valid. Okay, so it's just sometimes I find in some of the nutritional experts, it's kind of all about, let's get healthy and let's not even bother thinking about losing weight. But losing weight is a valid health goal. Okay, now everyone globally, all the scientists, all the nutritionists, everybody, all the research that's going on, they're all searching for the best weight loss diet. So let's talk about weight loss now for a wee minute, all right? And there's a lot of discourse in these areas around whether or not it's, low carbohydrates, lower fat, very low carbohydrates. There's which one is best. You will have some people who are just evangelical about one particular style of eating. And, that's not even going down the vegan or vegetarian route, right? So there's loads of weight loss diets out there. Now, some of them will try to focus on reducing your appetite. Others are restricting calories. Others are looking at the carbohydrates, like I mentioned, and others are looking at the fats and which is best. All of them are claiming to be the best. All of them are claiming to have science behind them. So it can be hard to know which ones are worth, are worth your time, the investment of your time and the investment of your hard-earned money. And so, one of the first things that I would suggest is that you find someone that you trust, someone who is an expert in this field, and tease this all out with them and trying to figure out which is a load of rubbish, B, the best fit for you. Okay? So one of the first things to figure out or to admit whenever you're thinking about diet, whenever you're thinking about the foods that we eat and the foods that we're best to eat, is to make room for the possibility that what you're eating currently may not be serving you well. Okay, if you're looking at something different, then you're obviously thinking, what I'm doing now at the minute's not working. I'm feeling bad. I wonder, is it my food? I'm putting on weight. Yes, it's my food. All of those things. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of what I suppose what I would invite you to do is to consider what you're eating now. What I always do with clients before I see them is I ask them to jot down a 3-day food diary. One of those days, like maybe being a weekend, and just write down everything that they eat. 9 times out of 10, when that client comes to me, they come to me already with the realization, oh my God, I'm eating so much of this, so much of the other, and I can see now where I'm going wrong and where we might make changes. So, it's a great awareness tool just to write down before you even think about that you're going to change your diet, that you're going to eat healthily or anything. Just to do a analysis of what you're doing now. Now I do a deeper analysis with clients, then I break that all down in terms of macronutrients and micronutrients, their vitamins and minerals and everything. But it's great whenever they come with an awareness of all of that. So basically just finding out and getting this strong realization that what you're eating right at this moment in time, or have been eating over the last couple of months or 6 months or year or years, whatever it is, has not served you well. The stronger that realization is, the stronger that feeling is, the easier it will be for you to open up your mind to making changes. Another question that I would invite you to sit with and ponder a wee bit, and we did this last night on the weight loss coaching group with members, is what am I so attached to in my current diet that I would say yes, okay, I'm prepared to make some changes, but I'm not prepared to give up coffee. I'm not prepared to give up, I don't know, tea, alcohol, bread, pasta, meat, eggs, dairy, anything. I'm not saying that you have to give those up. I'm just saying it's worth exploring. What is it that you're not prepared to give up? And what would it be like if actually you had an open book in terms of diet, that everything was on the table, and you were actually prepared to throw everything out and start completely afresh? And then finally, just to think about is your health goal, whether you want to lose weight, whether you want to get healthier, whether you want to manage your diabetes, whether you want to have more energy, better skin, all of those things, whichever your focus is, is this more or less important than the thing that you're saying that you either can't give up or wouldn't give up or want to protect? You want to really, really protect this. For me, it's coffee in the morning. Okay, so that's my thing at the minute. And I know it's not serving me well, but I'm just going to have to work on it. Okay, and this is in terms of my own health goal, not in terms of weight loss. Right, there's a guy I used to follow, a guy called Wayne Dyer, and he had some brilliant philosophies that served me very well. And he did say this. He said, "You can never get enough of what you don't need." So write that down, ponder that for a wee while. You can never get enough of what you don't need. And I can never get enough of coffee. So I digressed a wee bit there, but look, let's briefly look at a couple of the popular diets that are out there, right? If we look at, there are a group of diets that are more low carbohydrates, so low carb, low carbohydrate diets. Now they are very broad in range whenever you're looking at low carbohydrate or lower carbohydrate. At one end of the scale, you have the keto diet, the ketogenic diet. That is very, 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 I don't know, as many varies as you can put on that there, very, very low carbohydrate diet. You have also got then further on down the scale, the Mediterranean diet, which is a lower carbohydrate diet, or the low GL diet, the low glycemic load diet. Those are all lowish in carbohydrates. But the ketogenic diet it's one of the drastic ones, okay? It's very, very, very low in carbohydrates and very, very, very high in fat. It's grown in popularity, the ketogenic diet, and there's lots of anecdotal evidence around its success, especially for weight loss, and especially for weight loss around the middle, okay? But it is quite drastic. There is some growing evidence in terms of its benefit for long-term health benefits, like for memory loss, for brain health, for managing certain autoimmune conditions. It is a drastic diet, and it turns a lot of what we've been used to on its head. The primary aim of the ketogenic diet is to force your body away from using carbohydrates as a fuel and to burn fat as a fuel. Okay, so you basically starve your body of carbohydrates as an energy source, and you give it fat to burn instead. Then whenever it gets used to burning the fat, then it ends up burning all the fat that you want it to burn, that you're carrying around. It just turns your body into a fat burning machine. The upsides of the ketogenic diet are, you're turned into a bit of a fat burning machine. You can eat lots of butter, lots of cream, lots of cheese, oils, eggs, all eaten in high quantities. and protein in moderate quantities, you are very easily satisfied. And I have a few clients on the ketogenic diet, and after the first few weeks, whenever you will feel not so great, you do have plenty of energy, good skin, and a pretty steady weight loss. The downsides are that there are very, very, very few carbohydrates. You would not just lift up an apple and eat it. Okay, you'll have a few strawberries, a few blueberries. They would all be very well measured out. Some green leafy vegetables, very little. You won't be eating an apple. Potatoes, bread, carrots, tomatoes, things like that are all too high in carbs, too high in sugar to be included in this diet. They would knock your body out of ketosis. Eating out and socialising can be difficult on it. And, you know, one of the big downsides to this diet, or it's an upside if that's the sort of person that you are, is there's no moderation. There's no cheating. You're on it 100% or you're off. Okay, because once you cycle yourself out of ketosis, now it's quite a complex plan. I would never suggest to anybody that they go and try keto without professional help and without assessing whether or not it's a good fit for them, because it doesn't suit everybody. Okay. So let's then look at some of the other, you know, just a low carb, low GL diet would be one. And here you're aiming to reduce the release of insulin in your body. You're looking to make your cells more sensitive to insulin, because a lot of the issues around obesity and diabetes are just that our cells have become insulin resistant. So the low GL, low carbohydrate diet will actually help to improve the sensitivity of your cells to insulin. You do have to be very aware of the sugar content of the carbohydrates, okay? There's a lot of emphasis on this style of eating on fibre, which is great for the gut. So anybody's been listening to me over the past couple of months, so I've been hearing me talking a lot about gut health and the importance of gut health. So a lot of emphasis on fibre, on good quality proteins, healthy fats, and the complex carbohydrates. So any carbohydrates you're going to be eating are going to be complex carbohydrates. So it's going to be, you know, whole meal, your fruit and your vegetables with a skin on, just a lot of good stuff. Limited amounts though of kind of whole grain pasta and rice, but you're still having them on your plate, just not massive amounts. You wouldn't be having much in the way of kind of processed breads or anything like that. Does encourage whole foods, minimal processed foods. Pretty much any healthy eating plan, any healthy eating diet that you would be moving towards with me anyway will be having minimal processed foods. But there is a bit of room for manoeuvre on the low GL diet, for being off plan for a day, you know, for having a glass of wine, or for having a once in a while scone whenever you're out or something like that, okay? And then there's the Mediterranean diet, which is also a low carbohydrate style of eating. Now, the Mediterranean diet is currently the most studied and researched diet that I'm aware of. Okay, it has consistently been voted the #1 diet for health, and it's one of the big magazines in I don't know if it's Time magazine, something like that in the States. Consistently year on year it has been voted #1. It's primarily plant-based, okay? So a lot of plant-based food, all your fruits, your vegetables, your whole grains, your legumes and your nuts. They actually have limited red meat, okay? So the true Mediterranean diet, they would be having just red meat a couple of times a month, but allows loads of, your fish and your poultry at least twice a week. It replaces butter with olive oil, so you'll be having, plenty of olive oil, which is a good heart-healthy fat. Use lots of herbs and spices rather than salt. You can have your red wine in moderation. An interesting fact about the Mediterranean diet is it's estimated to cost less than the traditional Western diet that we're used to. It does emphasize healthy types of fats that are known to reduce cholesterol and to reduce risk of heart disease. And there's loads of, cancer fighting antioxidants. Now you'll get that with the low GL diet, any diet that has plenty of fruits and vegetables in it, loads of cancer fighting antioxidants as well. So the things that you don't eat on it, and again this will be with any healthy eating plan, your sugar sweetened drinks, your added sugars, those processed meats, You know, lots of your burgers, sausages, bacon, things like that. Refined grains, so anything that has just basically been through a factory too much and mashed up too much. Refined oils and anything that's highly processed or ultra processed, as they're called now. So you would be avoiding those unhealthy foods. So that, those would be, it's not so much that those are the downsides, because those are the things that if you're looking to have a healthy diet, you would be avoiding anyway. But a couple of the downsides to the Mediterranean diet and any of the, the low GL, the low carb one, are that because they do allow moderation, say a moderate amount of red wine, okay, it's very easy for that to be misinterpreted. And you can go over the moderate amount. A moderate amount of, say, olive oil. It's very easy, especially if you're trying to lose weight, to go over and above what's needed. And, then you're going into a whole other issue of portion control and calorie control, okay? But the Mediterranean diet would be one of my favourites. Now, I often, mostly, mix the Mediterranean diet with the low GL, low carb diet, right? Whenever they kind of come together in a plan, they're heart healthy, they're practical, you can sustain them. They provide loads of essential vitamins and minerals and nutrients that the body needs for good health, and can be a very effective weight loss tool when consumed as part of a diet, a style of eating that you're aware of calories on. Okay, now I don't like to count calories. I don't encourage my clients to count calories, except occasionally, just to be aware of them. Because whenever you're trying to lose weight, you do have to be aware of your portions and the amounts that you eat. Okay. With all of those diets, you'll have heard me talking about carbohydrates and fats and proteins, and you hear people talking about plant-based or meat, or what's the best style of eating. And I saw this on a colleague's page. I was flicking through Instagram and up it came, and I thought, this is just at the T. Couldn't write it better myself, so I'm actually just going to use his word, and I can't remember his name, otherwise I would credit him. So the problem isn't with carbs, he said. The problem is with the overconsumption of processed carbs and the emphasis of this one macronutrient at the expense of others. And if you think back to what our plates used to look like, it was an overemphasis on carbohydrates and processed carbohydrates. The problem isn't with fat. It's the overconsumption of bad, processed, what I call plastic manufactured fats, okay? And the problem isn't with meat. It's the quality and sometimes the quantity of the meat that we eat. And hence you look at the Mediterranean style of eating, and they're eating meat a couple of times a month, but it's really good quality meat. So my approach is really the best of them all. I go lower carb, but not no carb. With a Mediterranean feel, and a focus on quality and not quantity. Packing in the nutrients, so a nutrient dense diet, because we need the nutrients that can supply the hormones, the cells, and keep your digestive system and your gut happy. Pretty much if your gut is happy, then the rest of your whole system is going to be happy as well. You really want a style of eating and a diet that is realistic, that you can afford, that can fit in with family life, and that can adapt to a happy and healthy weight loss if that is what you wish and what you need. Okay, so if all of this piques your interest, if you are interested in weight loss, I'm enrolling now for my 8-week Nutrition for a Happy and Healthy Weight Loss program. Still on Zoom at the minute. But it's working very well on Zoom. It's a small group, it'll be less than 10, and at least 5 of those places are gone, so I've got 5 places left. £60 for the 8 weeks. You do get lots of recipes, meal planners, trackers, top tips. I will be adding in for this time a mindset guide as well. But the main focus throughout the 8 weeks is on coaching, and just keeping us positive, keeping us right, and reminding us why we're doing this. So if you're interested in that, I will post the link later on. I may actually next week and the week after also do a wee bit of chat about maybe intermittent fasting, maybe a bit more on the ketogenic diet as well, because whilst it's not for the vast majority of people, it definitely can suit some people. Or if there's any particular diet or style of eating that you have an interest in, just let me know if you're interested in it. Somebody else will be interested in it, and I'm happy to talk about it. So I hope you have a lovely weekend. It's my gorgeous granddaughter Ava's 6th birthday. Can you believe that? She is 6 today, the light of my life. So looking forward to seeing her later on. She's probably not listening, but happy birthday, Ava. And I'll talk to you all next Friday. Bye.